Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we're going to be watching a video about why Thomas Frank has pivoted into making YouTube tutorials and why this is a great opportunity for you to get into why you need to start making content, why the world that you know will be changing very, very soon. Why will it be changing? It's because AI is upon us. AI is here. AI will displace most of humanity. You will not have a job in the future. Most jobs will be eradicated, and there will be no need for you um, to exist. You will feel depressed because most of the time, when you are unemployed and you have no purpose in life, it leads to depression and feelings of loneliness. You won't be able to date because you will have no money to date, and you will be left to rot by yourself in your room. The solutions that will be provided to you will be the metaverse, so you'll be plugged into the metaverse, and universal basic income, and your governments will offer you free money. In exchange, you have to sign over all the property that you own, all your future inheritance that you own, um, and you have to do and listen and say what the governments and the people in charge want you to do. And what they want from you is to basically have you locked in your room at all times, not socializing, not forming any human connection, living an inhumane life, into voluntary imprisonment, and wait until you die and fizzle out of existence. Okay, you will not be allowed to reproduce. You will not be because you won't be able to afford to start a family. Okay, you won't be able to afford to date. All the hottest women will just be sharing, multi-millionaires sharing the elites, be part of some sort of harem situation, and you'll be left to fend for yourself. You'll be left to live out in essence a inhumane and lonely life, but to you it'll feel like okay, because you will just numb yourself with the metaverse, with content and virtual reality. Most of people won't make it. Okay, most of people will be fucked. The only way to save yourself is for you to join the elite, for you to become an elite yourself, and that way the people that follow you, listen to you, um, become part of your community. You'll get to save them at least. Okay, so you won't be able to help everyone, but you'll be able to save some people who choose to follow you. Because my mission here is for me to find 100 people who want the same thing as me, who want to live a life of luxury, who want to take over the game, take over the world, and build a kingdom. Each will have 100 kingdoms. Will be a network full of kings and royals, and we will um, displace the current leaders that the world has, and people who chose to follow us, because we'll be making content, we'll be becoming influencers, we'll be becoming celebrities. People will follow us, and we will save them because they will understand what we're talking about, and they will happily take our advice. Okay, um, you know, AI is here, and it will soon be good enough to start making its own content by itself. Okay, right now it isn't that great, but within the next year, 2 years, this might change. So this is why it's very important that you get in the ground up now, that you start making content, and that you become somebody who is able to influence people, that you become an influencer, that you become a celebrity, you become famous, somebody that people look up to, so you can become a leader that and lead people to a better future and a better tomorrow. And because if you don't do it, right, who will? Who is going to step up, right? If you've ever thought that in your life that you want to do something great with your life, that you want to change the destiny and course of your life, this is the opportunity that you've been waiting for. This is your call to adventure. This is the start of your hero's journey for you to become all that you ever believed that you could become, to become a king, the king that was promised, and to rise to the top and save humanity. But let's see what this guy has to say.
2 years ago, Thomas Frank made the seemingly crazy decision to abandon his 2 million subscriber YouTube channel that he spent a decade of his life building to make software tutorials.
I wanted to create a destination that people immediately thought of as the go-to place to learn Notion. I want to make software tutorials so good looking that people are like, why would he put this much effort into it? This is stupid.
His decision paid off big time. The Thomas Frank Explains channel has grown to 220,000 subscribers, done over 10 million views, and doubled his revenue just by teaching people.
And this is the path to success, that you have to become somebody who is seen as a subject matter expert, that you are seen as somebody who is competent and make content around something that you are passionate about, something that is of interest to you, something that is very niche. And if you don't know what that thing is that you want to make content around, that is what I work with my clients. We help them figure out what they need, what their passions are, where their skills lie, and how they can best serve humanity, for them to reach the top, for them to become leaders, for them to become famous and start living a life of luxury.
How to use the productivity and note-taking software Notion. In this episode, you'll learn how to design the perfect viewer experience.
I wanted to have this experience where people find a video, they click over to the channel and they realize like, I want to learn Notion and this is the place for it.
How to think about browse views versus search views.
I naively thought that TF Explains was going to be a search-only channel. That turned out to be wrong. Actually, we have more traffic from browse features and suggested than we do from search.
The pros and cons of relying on outside platforms for success.
And you might be someone watching this and thinking, well, this guy's very advanced. He already had a successful YouTube channel before he made a switch. How can I compete? What will happen is, not everybody will like that person, Thomas Frank, as his personality, right? Somebody may need, some people may need a black person to fucking explain it. Do you get me? Some people might need a woman to explain it. So everybody has their archetype of person that they resonate with the most. Okay. And therefore there's a market for every type of person, because right, not everybody's unique, right? You might like 50% of what this person does and 50% of what this other person does. And people mix and match their personalities. So you are a construct of many different personalities, all formed into one to form your own unique personality. That's why you have so many different people that might watch your content, different ethnicities, different races, different age groups, right? But because, for example, like you might be someone in your 20s who really likes swing music. Okay, now you're marketable to a demographic of 20-year-olds, and you're marketable to people who like swing music. And they might be older people, right? Because older people tend to like swing music. But so your personality is made up of all these different things, and because there'll be something that somebody likes about you, you'll be able to grow your own unique audience.
You're never going to get to space by riding a bicycle you built yourself.
And what every person starting a tutorial channel needs to do.
Don't worry about the strategy. Just make what you're interested in and put it up on YouTube.
And that is it. Once you go on this journey of making content, you'll just have to try different things. You have to it's try and error, and you have small successes and be like, oh, okay, when I've done this, I've got a good reaction, and then you just do more of that, and then you start building a framework. Right at the beginning, right, you just need a big abstract idea, try a lot of different shit, and then you zone in on the things where you were successful, and then you're able to narrow it down, and then you find your direct lane to success. Okay, but in the beginning you need to try a different thing. This is if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, right? You need to try many different things to see what kind of sticks, where your niche is, where you are able to affect the market, in essence.
It's been probably a year, more than a year, since we first recorded on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear how you're thinking about your YouTube strategy generally right now. And I'm going to leave it that open and ambiguous.
And again, like he starts off the interview by doing something very large and ambiguous. Okay, and because right, instead of being very niche and then being very boring, it's like let's see what the other guy gives you back, and then you'll be able to hone in on something as you go along. Okay. And it's the same way that you should see life as, right? Like life, you should not think, right, how the fuck do I what the fuck do I do? It's like you just move forward, and as you move forward, like, you'll see new pathways that are open to you. Okay. And it's the same thing, like if you think you're growing up, it's like if you're 10 years old, right, the pathways available to you are very narrow. It's like school, hobbies, friends, and you know the park, maybe, right? And then as you grow up, as you get older, as you get more responsible, when you're 18, 19, 20, it's like now you can go to bars, you can go to clubs, you can go travel around the world because you're an adult. Okay. And new paths come at you all the time. And that's how life is, that's how life unfolds in front of you. You just have to be willing to take the step forward. What I'm saying is because of AI, because of where we're headed, is many opportunities will be more restricted because AI will displace your ability to earn money, and you will therefore have to make economic choices where you have a lack of freedom. I don't want you to have a lack of freedom. I want you to have as much freedom as possible. And for you to have as much freedom as possible, you need to be able to earn money in the future. The only jobs that are truly left going forward is if you have established a fan base, if you are a content creator, if you are able to go forward, be able to garner attention, be able to speak to individuals. But very soon AI will be good enough where you won't have the opportunity to do this anymore. So you need to start doing this now while you still have an opportunity. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, how the fuck do I do this? I'm telling you, just start speaking about the few things that you might be interested and passionate about, right? Or maybe it's a skill that you're very good at, and you need to just start making content consistently about something that you're very interested in. Deliver it in a confident, charismatic way, which is what I help my clients with, how to communicate better on camera, and start making content around it. And as you grow, as you get better, as you figure out what the thing is that makes you unique, what the thing is that you can zone in on, you'll have your audience will grow alongside watching your skills grow. And then they'll start rooting for you to win. They want you to win because everybody likes a success story. Okay. So if you're worried about you're not ready to start, it's like I'm telling you, you just have to be willing to go into something where you feel uncomfortable in, and become more and more relaxed as you go on in that journey.
I have to give some context because my YouTube strategy is being informed by a bigger strategy. And that is that we are launching a new startup. We are calling it Flylighter. And it is starting out as the best web clipper for Notion, but eventually will be just the best idea capture and knowledge capture tool that you've ever seen, that also lets you take things from the web or from your head and get them into whatever app you're using, instead of it being an app where you browse that data. So that makes my strategy change quite a bit, because for the past couple of years, I've been almost entirely focused on teach Notion, sell Notion templates, be like the king of that niche. Well, now we're kind of taking the next logical step in building a tool that serves those users, but then we also have to build brand affinity and
because this guy is very consistent, because he's doing it regularly, he builds a fan base. And then when something better than Notion comes along, he'll just be able to pivot, but he still becomes the go-to person that people rely on because they realize that he was very reliable at a certain point in time before. And now I don't know this new thing, and he seems like a reliable source. So when AI comes, um, you know, people be like, well, like, this is a human that I can trust. I don't know if I can trust a fucking robot, but I can trust a human, and they'll be more keen to switch onto his content.
Awareness for the tool itself. So rather than just relying on Notion content to do that, I'm launching my main channel again. And I don't just want to make productivity content again, but I realize that there is a very strong strategic reason to create productivity content. There's still stuff I want to teach around that. So we're going to be doing some more productivity videos that may not just feature Notion as the app I talk about. And then I think I also want to, give myself permission to talk about some of the things that I am interested in and have developed skills in.
And this is the thing. It's like, at first you're a nobody starting off making content. you make videos that people are interested in, you build a small audience, and then you're able to share who you are, your personality, and then you're able to express who you are. But then you already have people watching you. You already have and then you expand your knowledge base, and then you have new people come into the market. The market being you, people who find you, and then they also become fans of you. And then you're able to pick and choose. Maybe you're somebody who does Joe Rogan's a great example, right? He's somebody who does jujitsu. So people who also do jujitsu go, oh, he's a black belt in jujitsu. I'll follow him. And then you discover him, and then he's also into psychedelics. He's also a stand-up comedian. He also watches the UFC regularly. He's also used to be an actor. He's interested in was it ice baths, sauna. He does all this weird and wacky shit, right? He goes hunting for elk meat, I believe. And then like one part of your personality is a gateway to the rest of your personality. Okay, and then you might be someone who really likes jujitsu, but never thought about psychedelic drugs before, and now you listen to somebody whose opinion you trust on jujitsu talk about psychedelics and be like, well, let me try that as well. I'm not telling you to fucking take psychedelics, right? Like, most people watching it like have mental illnesses, and they'll probably unleash their mental illness. But it's just an example of how you can become an evergreen niche, because as you evolve, as your fan base gets to know you more, different parts of your personality get expressed, different parts of your personality get more refined. You develop new parts of your personality.
Over the past couple of years.
Let's forward this a little bit.
TF Explains, originally I did not care about the views at all. In fact, I naively thought that TF Explains was going to be a search-only channel, and it would never get any sort of organic promotion in the homepage. It doesn't usually break 10K views on a video, but he's on track to make like $500,000 this year in revenue.
Wow.
And I think a lot of what he's doing is like consulting, helping companies build up their internal Coda docs. So instead of selling like a $50 template, it might be like a $5,000 consulting session or talk about Notion, not just our products, but
yeah. I mean, just I've rewinded it, but just to go back on what he was saying is if you don't have the ability to make content, if you don't have a online presence, you will be left behind, because people won't be able to discover you once we move into the metaverse full time. You need to start making content so people can get to know your personality, so people can find you, and so you can showcase yourself as somebody who's competent. Here at Royal Instinct, we show ourselves as kings. We show ourselves that we're building kingdoms, that we are rising to the top. If you also want to do this, if you want to future proof your business, if you want to future proof your life, you have to start making content. You have to build your kingdom, be seen as a king, and rise to the top. I'm looking for 100 people who are on the same mission as me. I'm looking for 100 people who also believe that they are kings, that they want to build a kingdom. And together we will rule, we will become the new de facto rulers, take over the game, form a network, an alliance of royals, an alliance of kings. And we will be the new people in charge. We will live lives of luxury. We will have the best opportunities. We will date the hottest women. We will eat the best food. If that is the type of life that you want, that you believe that you are destined for, but you just don't know how to go about it, then you need to reach out to me. Go to royalinstinct.com and we can work together and find out how to make you successful.
Also their product in general, because that helps to build up our audiences. I think if I had picked a tool that was sort of on the decline in terms of user base, maybe this is unfair, but I'll just pick Asana out of the air. I don't niche does not have quite the same following as Notion. So when you go look at the Coda Guy's channel, it's not quite as big. He doesn't usually break 10K views on a video, but he's on track to make like $500,000 this year in revenue.
Wow.
And I think
and you don't need millions and millions of viewers. You don't need millions and millions of subscribers. What you need is consistently and be seen as a subject matter expert, be seen as somebody who's very competent. And that's the way that you can beat AI. That's the way you can future-proof your life. That's the way that you can become successful, become a millionaire, become somebody who is wealthy, live a life of luxury, rise to the top, you know, all the good shit that comes with it, date the hottest women. If you want to live a life of luxury, if you want to build a kingdom, if you understand what is happening in the world, how we are being led into a path of a dystopian future, and you say fuck that, I want to save myself, I want to save my community, my future children, my current children, then you need to build a kingdom. You need to be seen as a king, rise to the top, and you know, be the de facto leader that the world needs. Because if you don't do it, who will? Right? Can you trust the current leaders that you have in power right now? In most cases, you know, the answer will be no. Um, so you can only truly trust yourself. I'm looking for 100 people that believe in themselves, that trust in themselves, who I can trust and rely on. And together we will form a strategy. We will rise to the top. We will become content creators and take over the game and be seen as the new ruling class, the new de facto leaders. If you are interested, reach out to me and we can see if we can work together. For everybody else, that is it for today. Take care and